Officially welcome to Naz's class. Hello, 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 hello. So we're very, very happy to have Chloe here. And actually, Chloe is a former AGBE, our business student. So she has gone through all of the economy and law classes and all that crazy stuff that you hear coming from the other classes. So she's graduated, she's done her co-op and everything. Mm-hmm. And she's originally from Philippines, where she got her tourism management degree. So very much connected to this course. And I was showing my class where you studied, which is pretty amazing in Cebu. Okay, and so right now she is an assistant manager of food and beverage at a restaurant called Fishworks. So I'm gonna ask her some questions, and hopefully you guys will have some questions to ask her too. Okay, so welcome.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you, Elena.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Okay, so I've got some questions for you.
Sure.
So you studied tourism management.
Yes, I did.
My question is, why that? Why did you choose that?
Why tourism? Well, it's not like, oh, I love to travel. I don't have those reasons at all. Way back in 2012, when I thought about taking tourism, it was because my dad wanted to take me either law or being a doctor, or the worst, accountant, which I'm not good at numbers. So my favorite number is 7, and we have all these programs posted on the board, and I just counted. So tourism consists of 7 letters, and here I am, a degree with tourism management. So it's not because I love to travel. Well, I love to travel. It comes with the perks of being a tourism management graduate. So, and now here I am in Canada. This is my 39th country.
39?
39th country. Yeah.
Wow.
And counting.
Wow, amazing. And hopefully Canada is your favorite, of course.
I'm so sorry, but well, the people are nice. The least to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just putting you on the
Canada
spot.
is beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. It's ethereal, surreal. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were doing your tourism management degree, did you have to do a co-op as well, or internship?
Yeah, I did. I did my summer work and travel in Massachusetts.
Okay. So in the U.S.
Yes, in the United States, in New England, and it was so funny because they asked us to choose either in a hotel or in a theme park, but I chose the fun part, the theme park. So I was a ride attendant at Six Flags New England. If you've heard about Six Flags, it's like one of the competitions of Disney. So we have Marvels.
Okay.
I did my internship there.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. So when you were in the U.S. or when you were back in the Philippines, did you ever work in the restaurant industry?
After I graduated, I kind of had an internship once again, like I only worked for 600 hours it's a family friend owned restaurant. It's a 5-star restaurant at the port. It's a seafood restaurant as well in Cebu. So if you happen to go to Cebu, so make sure to drop by the Waterfront Hotel and Resort. Yeah, so.
Maybe you'll get a discount.
Exactly.
If you just say you know Chloe.
Like, you know Chloe? just kidding. I'm not that famous, come on.
So then when you started in Vancouver or in British Columbia, what was your first job? I don't mean your co-op job, but your part-time job.
Oh, my part-time job. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I came here. I started my class in the September of last year, and I was just applying for restaurants in Indeed. Luke told me to make an Indeed account and LinkedIn, and I saw that there was a hiring. They were looking for a server, Royal Vancouver Yacht Club. So yeah, I worked there for almost 2 months, but I stopped because it's kind of far. I used to live in Burnaby, and I have to come here and go down to the West Point Grey, That's like near UBC, so it's kind of far from me. So I just looked for another job.
Okay. So you were a server?
Yeah, I was a server.
Okay. And tell us your experience of working in a very Canadian environment. Did you enjoy it, not enjoy it, love it, hate it? Tell us. Tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, to be honest, it's not that hard for me because I used to work in a cruise ship for almost 3 years. So I'm used to like socializing and used to being in a diversified, community. So it's not that a lot of work and people just speak in English. I don't have to stare at them while they're speaking in Norwegian or German. So I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then you switched. So you left there after 2 months. So what happened next?
Yeah, I did, and I applied at the Prestons. It's a Coast Hotels near the West Pender Street. If you've known, it's right along the Marriott Hotel. So I also worked there, and then at C Prime, I because they only gave me like 2 shifts. It was slow, like around December, so it was kind of slow. So and I also worked at C Prime at Century Plaza Hotel. So it's an Italian infused steakhouse as well. So if you want to eat at an Italian place, C Prime, I'd definitely recommend that.
Okay. So we just all learned language like, how'd you like that cooked? Would you prefer the 7 or 9 ounce steak? Did you have to do all of that?
Well, yes, we do. Like, oh, how would you like your steak? You like it bloody? Just kidding. Yeah. Oh, I just used to joke that around to lighten the air a bit. So it's important to insert humor as well, right?
Nice.
So.
Very nice. Okay, so now tell us about Fishworks. How did you get that job?
Okay,
Where
so
you are now?
Fishworks. I started working at Fishworks February. And I just look it up through Indeed. And the owner told me, okay, come drop by at 3 p.m. and we'll do an interview. So I went there and he was looking at my resume. And Chloe, why are you switching jobs in the past 6 months that you've been here in Vancouver? You've been already to 3 places. Like, why? Did they fire you or anything? No. It was about the circumstance. Also, it's important, the consistency of like how long have you stayed in a job. It matters because it reflects on what you are and who you are as a person. So yeah, I just have to explain to him that this was what my circumstance and I just have to, just get my way through it. So here I am.
Okay, so now what was the position for that you applied for?
Well, at first I applied for a server, but then after a couple of months, like he got his second baby, so he has to stay at home. So he kind of like, Chloe, I would want you to offer this position since I'll be staying away and I'll be taking care of my baby, and probably he saw how I work. So yeah.
Nice. So you got promoted pretty quickly.
I got promoted, yeah, quickly.
Okay, very nice.
Come to think about it, I am blessed. Yeah.
So then you said you applied through Indeed, which I think many of us have gotten jobs through Indeed, right? Who's gotten a job through Indeed? A few of you? Okay, so Naz. So when you apply for Indeed, that means that the business owner doesn't know who you are. You're just a stranger.
Not at all, yeah.
So what do you think made you special? Why you?
Why me?
Yeah.
Why not me? Just kidding. Well, I would say like the strong work background experience, it adds up. And also the confidence. Even if you don't have any experience at all, but how you deal with the interviewer or the employer, that makes a difference, right? And knowing what you're applying for, like beforehand, like researching, oh, Fishworks, it's a seafood restaurant. What should I know about it? What products, what services do they offer? So I look it up before I across the table before the interview. You have to equip yourselves beforehand. So I think that's one of the reasons. Like a strong asset is like being a fast thinker and witty as well, like, and being an eloquent speaker. I mean, not necessarily like English this much, but being confident. Yeah.
Confident, that's the magic word for everything,
Confidence.
right?
Yeah. You don't know that I'm shaking right now, but I am.
And you look pretty confident.
Oh, thank you. That's the key. You have to fake it.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm giving away too much. Right?
But definitely your confidence and your humor comes through for sure. And I'm sure that's what your boss saw as well.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, so let's talk about your duties as an assistant food and beverage manager. What are some of the small things or big things that you have to do?
Well, basically I manage the floor during the operation, like welcome the guests, like check the, if you're familiar with the open table, do you have like a part-time jobs here? You work at restaurants? So most restaurants use an open table for reservations, right? And so I use that. So since they can automatically just book and we have to call them back to confirm their reservations for this evening or this entire week, and also like rectify solutions and handle difficult guests. That's one of the things. And also like stocking of supplies like wines, beverages, and contacting the wineries as well if they have something that they want us to add in our lists. And also communicating with back of the house, since open communication is important to maintain the operation. Like, hey chef, this is what we need, and this will be the specials. And we do daily specials. Like, we have to communicate that as well, so as to relate to the front of the house staff. So like, okay, so this is our special tonight. We have sable fish. It's pan-seared. It comes with all these sides and so on and so forth. And if it's gluten-free, if it's dairy-free, it's important to know all these dietary restrictions and sensitivities, because a lot of people are,
They have some kind of allergy.
Yes, allergies.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to close the door.
Oh, no problem.
It's getting a little loud. Okay, so you use Open Table,
Yes.
the reservation system. Do you feel that, from your perspective, the Open Table software works pretty well?
Yes, it does. Because if, like, for a guest, like, you will know if some people will just, like, no-show. So we have to flag it down in the system, like, these people are no-show. So it will also notify other restaurants that if they do reservations, you have to double-check these people. Because, like, you reserve table for 8 people and then they didn't come. So it's a waste of time and space for us as well if we have walk-ins. So it's a loss for the business. So yeah, they flag down. So it's really convenient.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize it told the other restaurateurs as well. Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
So be careful if you don't show up for a reservation.
Yeah, you
might
have to
get
call
banned.
it like, oh, sorry, I can't make it today because I just chose other restaurant better than yours. So yeah.
So you mentioned about complaints. So what are difficulties? So what has been some difficult patrons that you really remember? So let's hear about the bad situations.
Sorry, your sable fish, it's so dry. I can't, it's just, sorry. I was like, oh, okay, let me just change that for you real quick. So I brought it in the kitchen. Chef, it's dry. And then the chef was like, okay, let me see that. And he squished the fish and there comes all the juices. So those are one of the stupid complaints. But yeah, we just change it and then and then just quality check again with a guest. Sometimes some people, they just want to feel, important. I know this much. Yeah, those things. And also like for the wines as well, there are people that are very sensitive with palates that they know if the wine is good or not, especially when it's corked. So you have to change that. Well, and also like some people are, well, not most, but I would say some people in terms of, yeah, they feel entitled. Yeah, and the one thing that I hate about the hospitality industry is the customer is always right. They're not, but you just have to make it seem like they are right, but they're not. Yeah, that's the thing.
Putting on the smile.
Yes, putting on the smile. Like, okay, here you go. Thank you so much, and sorry about that. You have to apologize all the time and maintain this face.
So when someone orders the wine, they taste the wine.
Yes.
And now they're complaining that they don't think it's right. They think it's gone bad. It's got cork taint or something. So then at that point, do you give them another?
We do give them another bottle.
Okay, so it's at the restaurant's loss.
I wouldn't say it's a loss because we have to give it back to the supplier.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not totally a loss at all. So when you serve the wine, would you like to taste this one? Make sure that they taste it first before they finish off the entire bottle and they complain this is not good because they already drank halfway through it and okay, I can see that it's not good. So you have to always, the first sip when they said, oh, it's off. So yeah, offer another one.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're
Does that
welcome.
happen a lot?
Usually with the cork ones. Yeah, and especially with the people with, oh, I love wines and I just happen to know a lot about it, especially when, is it oaked? How many months it's oak? Yeah, you get to encounter people like that. Okay. Yeah.
And then let's talk about the opposite. What about some memorable, really kind, really nice guests? Do you have any memories?
Oh yes, we have a lot. Oh, just recently, like yesterday, I thought she needs something from me because I was just walking around and she was like, "Oh, what happened? How may I help you?" She was like, "I just like your smile." Aww. Sorry, I can't give you free drinks.
I hope she gave you a big tip.
Oh, I hope so. I did not check, just by the end of the night. Yeah, not every table. Yeah. But money is consistent because Fishworks has been well established, and when you talk about Lower Lonsdale, it's Fishworks. Yeah. So I just basically answered the destination Vancouver. I just passed answers yesterday. Like they were doing a survey, and I think they're putting it up in social medias. So I just answered 3 questions yesterday to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you are becoming famous.
Oh, not me, Fishworks.
Okay, so we do have a few people that work in restaurants or maybe have worked in restaurants in their home countries. So let's talk about the tips. So I know that restaurants have different things where some restaurants, it used to be that most restaurants, the server would keep all the tips, but that's been changing over the last 5 years. We're sharing it with the back of house. So can you tell me how it works at Fishworks?
Sure. Fishworks, well, since it's single-owned company, it's not like a corporate one, so we do things differently. Like, for example, let's say at C Prime, we tip the host, the bussers, only 1% of the sales and 2.5% for the kitchen. And the rest will be, and the bar is 1% as well of the drinks sales, the beverage sales. And the rest will be for us, for the servers. So it's quite a lot as well. But at Fishworks, we tip the kitchen 3%. We tip our host and bussers 2%, and the rest will be for us. I have to be there. I have to help out. I have to help this table out. I have to help these sections because they can't. When all your 8 tables came in all at the same time, one server can't handle it. So I have to assist at the same time. Right. So it's not that hard, but I think that's the most difficult because I can't just take orders because it's my server section and I have to relay all the information. So it's kind of like, hey, this is what he needs, this is what he needs. And that will jeopardize the work of the server because she's gonna be like, why are you relaying all this information when I can do it myself? But for me, I'm just trying to help out. I don't wanna step in, trying to save the day, but just trying to assess the situation and calm it down a bit. So Yeah, that's where especially when they're a bit older than me, so I'm kind of, should I step in or not? So there's the hesitation. Yeah.
It's Canada. It doesn't matter about
Right,
age.
but where I come from, Philippines, we respect so much. Yeah.
Of course, of course. So now, when you studied tourism back in Philippines, and you're working in this job now, is there something while you're at work that or you're sometimes thinking, oh, I wish we studied this in school, or I'm glad we studied this in school?
I would say on the latter part, like I'm glad we studied this in school. Like I took a world cuisine and wines as well, so it's really an asset to know all these things. Like for example, the wine and all this. Oh, which is better, the Sauvignon Blanc or the Chardonnay for this dish tonight? Right. And why? Like they ask you that. Oh, go for the Chardonnay since for this bottle it is oaked. Partially, it has stayed for still for 6 months and another 6 months in an oak barrel. So this would be better compared to the lighter Sauvignon Blanc. So you have to throw all this fancy, oh, this one is visually pleasing, it's aromatic, and yeah, so you have to throw all those things as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you really need to know all the differences between.
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
Especially when they order a bottle of a $360 bottle of wine. You have to throw some nice words.
You want them to feel they got the money.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
The value of what they're paying for.
So is there something about the restaurant industry in general that you just really don't like? It could be anything from complaints or the hierarchy. Is there something that you feel uncomfortable about in the restaurant industry?
Well, I would say the tipping system, because not most people get it. Like, for example, I've encountered servers like, oh, look, cheap people. I would say, do you think they're cheap or your service sucks? So, yeah, because they feel like some servers or some people are just entitled that they deserve that tip, even though you have to assess yourself if you deserve that tip as well. Because some guests are pissed, so they don't tip you off. So that's one thing as well. Like I find it annoying that some people they have the audacity to complain, like, oh, freaking cheap people, like they don't give a tip at all, and they even brag it to the kitchen staff, like, look at this, look at that. Why would you do that? Like, ask yourself, where did I go wrong? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the lack of self-awareness.
Exactly,
right?
the lack of self-awareness. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So now you're in the position you're in as the assistant food and beverage manager. And we were talking before, you're there in that restaurant, you're going to be there for another year, for sure?
Yes, for another year.
Okay.
Sadly, just kidding.
So within the restaurant itself, or even beyond a year, would you like to see yourself moving up the ladder?
Well, of course, who doesn't want progress, right? However, well, the owner, he wants to, as much as he wants to retire, he wants to open another restaurant, and he offered the managerial position for me,
Ooh.
Which I am blessed to take, but I don't know whenever that is. But,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Is he hoping to open it in North Vancouver as well?
In North Vancouver, he doesn't like downtown. Like the scene here is just for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you know what kind of cuisine it will be?
He said like he wants to, I don't know the fusion, but he wants a family style dining. Yeah, because he wants to incorporate that, especially that he wants to like family orientation. He wants to, what do you call this? To emphasize that in his new restaurant, because we're doing an upscale dining, so we're kind of like, let's go to another scene.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So focus more on casual dining.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. I like complimentary dessert.
Right? Oh, you should drop by Fishworks.
Thank you. So,
you're welcome.
What questions do you guys have? And then maybe because we're mic'd, we can just I can repeat the question.
Sure.
What would you like to know?
Anything.
Okay, we'll start with Chaharu.
you said that the most difficult situation is that the customer came at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how to deal with the customer at the time? What's ordered?
Okay.
There are a lot of dish table, some customer wave hands, like a chaos situation. So how to deal with?
Okay, so the question is when you get a lot of people coming in, a lot of customers coming in at the same time, how do you prioritize the customers in terms of who gets first service and how do you deal with all the chaos, all the craziness?
Okay. Sometimes you can't be helped but overwhelmed at certain situations, especially when they come in all at the same time. You just have to be, as what I said, attentive to who came first in the table. So who sat first in the table. So you have to address them. And also there are people who takes a lot of time checking the menu. They can't make up their mind. So it's a plus. So it's the time for you to hop into another table as well. Like, is everything okay? Like, what can I get for you? What can I get for you? Something to start. So yeah, just hopping in each table, making sure they have waters, they have the menu, and you say the specials first. So that's basically how we do it in the restaurant. Water, menu, water, and then special the table. So that's the time they had the chance to, to occupy themselves with, oh, what are the things that we should order tonight? So you have that time frame to hop into other tables or help out other servers or help out at the bar. So that's usually how I work. Make sure that everything, like at first what they need, it's there. And we also offer like complimentary bread that comes with our own blend of chickpea puree with sun-dried tomato. Well, not all restaurants do that, but we do that. So that gives them the time to munch in something while checking the menu. So it doesn't really give them, oh, they just left us here and we waited for a long time. No, we did not, because we make sure that you have all the things you needed while waiting for us, while waiting for us to attend your needs. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Who else? Question? Yeah, Wataru.
Hi.
My name is Wataru. I'm from Japan.
Hajimemashite.
I would like to work as a server in Vancouver, but I haven't decided yet. So the question is, if the people who made a reservation didn't come on time, so how long do you usually wait for them?
15 minutes.
Okay, I'm just going to say it just to
okay,
make sure
sorry.
we got on. That's okay. So when someone makes a reservation and they're late, how long will you wait and hold their table for them?
Okay, so there's a standard, like in our website, we put that we can only hold their table for 15 minutes, and after that, we gave it away to someone else. And also, before we do that, we give them a call back. Or in the Open Table app, there's message guests. So message guests, hit that button, and if they did not respond, that's the time we have to cancel the reservation. Yeah, so 15 minutes maximum holding time.
Oh, how about campers?
So how about campers? What do you do when people stay at their table, they've already eaten and they won't leave?
Oh, beforehand, our restaurant were really fast paced. You can just lounge in there and then just drink all your, the maximum occupants, like, for example, table for 2, we only give them 1 hour and a half. We have to notify them, our next reservation is at, let's say they come in at 4, our next reservation is at 6, so that gives you roughly 2 hours, so you'll be good. And then, yeah, we always do, because people just come and go in a restaurant. Like most days, like especially now that it's slow, we do 100 people, or to max 200, so we really have to, like swap the tables real quick, like turn the tables real fast. Like for table 4, we give them 2 hours, so we always say that beforehand. And we have the host, and they will notify the tables because you can see in the Open Table that you have next reservation. What time's your next reservation coming in? So they will notify their servers, I need a table 8 by 6. So okay, yeah, they're good. They're already in dessert. So that gives us a good time to kick their asses off without saying that, without making it seem like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anything else? Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
What else? Okay, we'll start with Karen, and
Okay.
then we'll go to Leo.
What is important to build a good relationship with your coworker when you are in a meeting?
Oh, so what was the very first couple words you said? What's the?
What is important?
So okay, so what's important to building a relationship with your coworkers so they'll help you when you're in the weeds, when you're so busy? So how can you build up really good relationships so they'll be there to support you?
Well, I would say you don't, let's say, I wouldn't really say friendly, but be professional in a way that you can communicate all openly with your coworker, openly enough, because not all people are like, friendly, but just have that work relation that enables you to communicate effectively, and just by looking in the eye, they already know what to do. Like for example, for me, I just look at the host and they know what to do. I'm asking them to bring water or to refill waters in that section right there. So just by looking, it's also important to relate, to have that connection, and well, you give them briefing beforehand. Like this one means this is the sign, like, hey, can you refill? It's so unprofessional, right? So just by one look of the eye, they know what to do. Yeah. And you also delegate tasks beforehand, so they wouldn't really like, oh, why are you asking me to do this? Like, yeah. And teamwork is important. You have to emphasize that as well. In order for the restaurant to operate, it doesn't really mean that, oh, this is just what I have in my job description, so I will not do that. So teamwork, it's what makes the dream work, right? The cliche goes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you.
Okay, there is a situation in your restaurant, for example.
Okay.
There is a server getting problems with some customers, and you just realize that he's trying to do his best, but everything is getting worse. What is the point, like manager, when you just realize that I have to take part of this, even if the server doesn't want to ask about help?
Oh, okay, so let me just repeat so we can have it. So the server is having a problem with the customer, and even though maybe the server's doing a good job, but the customer's unhappy in some way, at what point do you or does management step in and help the server, even if the server hasn't requested it?
Okay. I would say, like, in bits and pieces of problem, we always have to relay it to the management. Like, for example, hey, Chloe, they want to change the fish because let's take that example once again, because it's dry. Before the server can make alterations, it has to go through me or to the manager himself before making that decision. Or like for the wine, before you can change a bottled wine, you always have to go through the management. Like, for example, those tiny little things. Well, if the server can address it, like, I want to make my food gluten-free, like, can you possibly change that? Those tiny things, yes. Yeah, they don't have to, like, hey, manager, I need your help. If they can do it, well, they can. But in order not to escalate, that's the thing. You have to openly communicate to your superiors so as not to escalate it in a wrong way. So that's what matters, when you know where to step up. And also, like, I always roam around to quality check. So to make less room for errors. Yeah, it's important. Yeah, being attentive.
If you see a customer that's being rude or arguing with the server, and when you're roaming around, would you say something? Would you step in?
Yes, I would, definitely. I would step in that time and, hey, is everything all right here? what's going on? Just kidding. Yeah, you just have a, and then that's when I hear both sides. I don't just necessarily like, oh, I'll be guest bias. No, I would also like to hear the side of for my staff. Yeah, it's important for them to know that I got their back as well. Like I just don't throw them off under the bus. So yeah, you're welcome. It's important to work that because we know that customer isn't always right. Yeah, just make it seem like it. Yeah,
That's right, that's right. Any other questions?
I have one.
Okay, Naz.
Yes. I'm coming from a culture that tipping, I'm Naz, I don't know if, yes, I teach the customer service professional, the other class with Elena. Yes, so I'm coming from a culture that tipping is not common in my country. So when I came here, I heard that you got a tip and it's part of the culture. Sometimes I heard and I was absolutely okay with it. Even the server, sometimes when they are rude, sometimes I'm in a dilemma because I've heard that some restaurants do not start the minimum wage with the waiters or servers because they consider that they're going to get tips. So sometimes I'm in a dilemma, even the server is kind of like not giving a great service even if it's like fine dining restaurant, or I'm in a dilemma that, oh my God, maybe they are like working not even to the minimum wage and they're looking forward to get these tips. So in your experience, how many restaurants or fine dining, casual dining are doing it to the servers?
like not tipping or
No,
paying less.
giving them like less wage because they're considering that they are getting tips.
Well, in Canada, I don't see that happening because we have the labor laws regulation, like Work BC. So you have to read those things, go to the website. So to assess yourselves, like, and to equip yourselves what you need to know, like your rights as an employee. So I don't see that happening. So far, the servers, we've been paid the minimum wage. And as for me personally, although I worked at the restaurant, if they don't deserve a tip at all, well, the tip doesn't just necessarily go to the server. We split it to the kitchen, well, if you feel like they don't deserve a 20% tip, then just go for the lesser one. Like for me, the least I would say the 10%. Like if she's rude or if she's not attending to my needs. Yeah.
So you always consider tips?
Yes, I do always consider tips for me. Just a form of gratuity. That's just basically how I live my life, like in gratitude. Not necessarily it's mandatory, but it's out of gratitude.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I have one more.
Sure.
What's your dream job?
My dream job's to stay at home, read all day.
I want that job.
Right? Enjoy a cup of coffee, hot. Yeah, that's my dream job. Well, my dream job, I want to be a restaurateur.
Okay.
Yeah, and open my own restaurant someday.
Any ideas where? In what country?
Well, I would want to start in the Philippines. And I've had talk with my friends. Like, yeah, it doesn't mean like, oh, I want to open a restaurant. Here it comes. No, it needs years of planning. And also what's your niche? Like you have to study your market. What's your forte? What can you offer? There are a lot of things and a lot of places have been popping like global cuisine. So what makes you unique? What can you offer that makes you special? What can you offer that makes people crave for it? So those are the questions I've been torturing myself as to how I can start my own restaurant. Yeah, being a restaurateur and reading all day.
A little bit of business, a little bit of relaxation.
Exactly.
Sure.
If I can travel full time, why not?
That sounds pretty good. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So everybody go home and tip your server. Okay. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much
stop
for having
here.
me today.
Yeah.
And I would like to invite you all to Fishworks. Yeah, and don't come on Thursdays and Fridays because I'm off. You won't see me there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You guys can go back to your class.